Oh, god damn it. There we go. 1 second. Sorry about that. Okay. So, let's give people a chance to just get in here for a second here, and of course we're just gonna razz through it as we can. Okay, so there's two types of things here that we want to take a look at. Now, I'm not actually aware of what these guys are, who they are. As far as I understand, this might be true. This is actually confirmed by other sources as well. But we'll just wait for people to get in here, of course. There's so many planes over the U.S. right now. It's not unusual to see this many planes. It is not that unusual. That's interesting. That is interesting. There's an Australian military AVAC system in Poland, keeping an eye on whatever, probably Ukraine. That's an Australian military plane in Poland doing circles back and forward just outside Ukraine there. That's interesting. Not seen that before. Maybe once, but not that often, no. Tankers and Kawasaki P2, C2 there. Not too much. But what we want to know, what we don't talk about here is this. This is right here. As early as tonight, President Joe Biden will authorize U.S. military actions in the Middle East in response to Iranian-backed 86. Welcome in. So, Iranian-backed attack that killed 3 U.S. troops and injured over 40 others. Sky News reported Monday evening. I'll repeat this. As early as tonight. This was not uploaded that long ago. 12:16. That's just less than an hour ago. Joe Biden will authorize U.S. military actions in the Middle East in response to Iranian-backed Houthis or Syrian, Iraqi, Iranian-backed troops. Don't know what they're called. Free Iranian-backed attack that killed 3 U.S. troops and injured 40 others. Report on Monday evening. Sky News reported on Monday evening. There it is. Here we have some more on it. U.S. officials told CBS News it appears that the drone used in the attack was an Iranian suicide drone, the type of drone called the shaded drone, or kamikaze, which is the type of one-way attack drone that Iran has been providing to Russia. This drone right here has been seen and spotted on the battlefields of Ukraine. And if this is, in fact, the same drone used yesterday against the attack, those things are Iranian-made drones supplied by Iran. It might not have been Iran that pushed the button, but they could have very, very likely done it themselves. Elon Musk says first human received an implant from Neuralink yesterday and is recovering well. Neuralink is an implant in the brain. So apparently somebody has actually had a Neuralink implanted in their brain. But there we have it. Drones attack by Iranian-backed forces this weekend on the Tower of 22 patrol and operation base in northeastern Jordan was successful due to confusion by U.S. air defense, which led them to believe incoming hostile drones were friendly drones that was returning to base. So here you have it. 86. You were talking about this could have been foreseen, but here we have it. This was foreseen. in some sort of way, but they messed up. They messed up. You know, it's very rare that the U.S. military will mess up like that, but it happens. Can't tell you if that's satire or not. I really wouldn't know. A lot of stuff still going on here. Update: the U.S. will need 500,000 troops to occupy and hold Iran. Well, that's just not true. They're saying they will need 500,000 troops to update and hold Iran. That sounds a bit out of proportion. I don't think 500,000 soldiers are going to do it. I don't think you need that many, but whatever, you know. Cactus, welcome in. 10 minutes ago, Orange Defender posted this 10 minutes ago. 47 American service members are now believed to have been injured as a result of the one-way suicide drone. The numbers have gotten up from 44 to 47 on a Tara patrol base in northeastern Jordan, with injuries ranging from cuts and bruises to burns and traumatic brain injury. Here we have the source from it. Yeah. Biden cause. Jesus. Some people. U.S. Secretary of State Secretary Blinken, the response against Iran. The funny thing is, Secretary Blinken doesn't just say Iranian backed. He literally says, here it is. Secretary Blinken literally has said the response against Iran could be multiple leveled and coming in stages and could be sustained over time. Now, one of the things you want to keep in mind here is the response against Iran. Not Iranian backed, not Iran, not anything else. No, Iran. That means that we have the U.S. not just talking, actively planning, and very likely have already planned to actually conduct military aggression against Iran. Now, don't mind me. I say military aggression. That's not how I mean it. You know, like, oh, I'm against it. You know, low. Listen, hey, you know they killed people, and this is the age-old game. You know, when you got a response, otherwise you're looking weak on the world stage. Do I believe that U.S. troops should be in the Middle East in the first place? No, in fact, I don't. But listen, I'm not going to sit here and point anything out or say anything. There's a lot of people that have been there, and I have very much respect for the people who have been in the military, people who are the veterans. You know, no, I'm not muted. I shouldn't be. I think it's on your end, buddy. I think people would have told me by now if I was. No, I'm not muted. All right. Here we have it. Okay, so this Spectator Index, pretty trustable source here, just came out and said as well. Sky News reports that Joe Biden will authorize U.S. military actions in the Middle East. Now very much confirmed. Look at that. Right there, guys. I mean, that's it, right? Here we have it, guys. Sky News reports that Joe Biden will authorize U.S. military actions in the Middle East. The Spectator Index, very trustable source. This is true. Romania announces it's suspending all funding of UNRWA. Might need to reset your thing there, Cactus. Or turn up your phone. Another thing here, inside a paper, China is reportedly maintaining a constant military presence around Taiwan with 4 warships strategically deployed in various directions. Now, one thing you want to keep an eye out here, guys, is right now, of course, we have tensions over here in Asia. The problem here in Asia is, of course, Taiwan and China and North Korea and South Korea. Now, if you don't know, North Korea has recently been ramping up the demilitarized zones. They've fired off shells. They've fired off cruise missiles. They tested nuclear weapons. They've tested a lot of things. So here's my thing I want to tell you guys. The thing we have to worry about here is if the U.S., which is what China and Russia and Iran wants, if the U.S. gets caught up in a war in the Middle East, that's going to be very bad news for the world here in Asia. But I do wish to point out one other thing. South Korea and Japan are not great friends, but they're getting to be better friends. They've recently joined in a sort of an alliance pact, you could say. Yes, Taiwan, Japan, South Korea is great friends with Taiwan. So they would definitely come to defend there. We also have the Philippines and other nations that have promised their help in this arena. So it's not out of hope yet. Of course, Japan doesn't really have long-range capabilities. It only has defensible abilities. That's, Japan took a deal after World War II. Japan actually took a deal that they could have a military, but the military should only be for defense purposes. So not offense purposes. So they've recently started building things that are for offense, but it's too late at this point if that's going to happen. I mean, they can't manage to get too much up, but I mean, they're going to have to figure something out, right? All right, here we have it. Faticus News, another very trustable news source, just came out and said this here. Biden is ordering his advisors to present a range of U.S. responses to options that would forcefully deter other attacks while also not further inflaming or smoldering region. A smoldering region, according to two officials. Within the administration, top aides are trying to thread a needle. Biden is ordering his advisor to present a range of U.S. responses options that would forcefully deter other attacks while also not further inflaming a smoldering region, according to officials granted anonymity because they are not authorized to speak publicly about private deliberations. There you have it. It's live, guys. It really this is live. And one thing I want to point out here as well, what we're watching here, what we want to have to watch out is we have to think that what they're trying to do is prevent a full-blown war. Obviously, the U.S. doesn't want to go into a full-blown war. But what they're saying is we want to deter further aggression. That means that their response to Iran or Iranian-backed troops will either be very strong or very precise, if you get what I'm saying. It will be very strong in the sense that there will be a lot of it. It will be very American. It will be very big and massive. Or it will be very neatly, very precision targeted, very infrastructural targeted. Things like that. You have to watch out. These are the advisories that now they're going to come up with options towards this sort of option, toward what we can do here. But, yeah. Of course, what we have to watch is the response from Iran and the rest of the Middle East. Iran has a lot of Iranian-backed troops who are operating very close to U.S. bases. This could put U.S. soldiers in further risk. So a lot of stuff still happening here. So we want to, of course, keep an eye on it. There's no live briefings on the White House. Of course, we'll keep an eye on that. If any briefing comes up with the White House, of course, we want to watch that. Maybe Joe Biden's going to hold some kind of speech here. And we'll be purely trying to keep uncovering this. There's a lot of stuff going on with with Ukraine and stuff like that. So I think what we can do here, guys, this right here is Flash News. He has like these short videos about daily news about Ukraine. This one's only 2 minutes and 23 seconds, so not a lot happened, but there's still some stuff going on here, so we want to keep an eye on. Of course, this sort of runs you up on what happened here, so we're going to just watch this, and we'll be right back after, just to give you a little bit of a repeat of there, and then we'll of course keep an eye on Iran and all that stuff.
Good. Then I secondly thank you so much for receiving me. Good to see you. Yes, thank you.
The purpose that you announced, handed over the donation.
Normal, as much.
És ezt mi nagyra értékeljük. Ugyanakkor nekünk van egy kérésünk.
Ми зберемо спеціальну комісію, у якої є одна дуже проста задача. Через 10 днів вона має представити на розгляд урядів обох країн конкретне розуміння.
All right, there you go. Flash News on Twitter. Go check them out. Go give it a follow if you want to keep getting these daily updates. Definitely go follow these guys. They do great work. Or guy, or I have no idea how many works there. Just know it's some. We have, of course, more news coming in as far as we can understand. We will keep an eye on it. But yeah. Let me see. You know, I'm gonna actually see if Phil DeFranco, he does some good updates. Maybe he has like an update or something like that. Let's see if he does. He does actually have an update. So let's keep an eye. Let's get Phil DeFranco up here. We're not going to go to TikTok. I'm just going to re-upload his video. I think that's allowed. I am pretty sure that's allowed. I'm not aware if it is, actually. I think it is, as long as you got, like, the tags with it. And I keep tagging him or saying his name and shouting that. I don't think he's going to have a problem with that. I mean, that would be weird for him to say, oh, I have a problem with that, right? I mean...
Oh my god.
Okay, apparently a vehicle drove off Virginia Beach fishing pier and plunged into the Atlantic Ocean. Apparently a car decided to... This is very sad. I mean, this is... what the fuck is he doing? Is he trying to brake, or is he just... He just keeps going.
Dude, no.
Yeah, that was a car drove off the Virginia Beach. What was that? The Virginia Beach fishing pier and plunged into the Atlantic Ocean. Why? Couldn't tell you. There we go. Now it's up.
Currently debating several significant...
All right, here you go, guys. Phil DeFranco on TikTok as well, or other media, YouTube as well. I think he's also on TikTok, on Twitter. I don't know, but go check it out. But watch this.
The U.S. is currently debating several significant attack options on Iran, with these ranging from attacking targets in Iran and denying it was them, or even drone striking Iranian officials, to then more cautious actions like striking Iranian forces outside of Iran or just attacking their proxy groups. And this is the White House says we don't want a wider war in the region, but we have to do what we have to do. And this is in addition to the 3 deaths. The amount of wounded soldiers has now risen to over 40. Now, Iran has spent the morning proclaiming their innocence, saying they had nothing to do with the attack and that their resistance groups make their own decisions. But the U.S. believes believes that Iran has far more control of them and is far more involved than they say they are. So now Iranian air defenses have reportedly been raised to a state of maximum readiness as they prepare for a potential response. Also, just days before this, China told Iran to cut the shit, and earlier this month, the US warned Iran of an imminent terror attack that would later go on to kill several Iranians because they ignored it. Saudi Arabia and the UAE have condemned the terrorist attack on the US, along with dozens of other nations. And ultimately, President Biden now faces a delicate situation. Can you hit Iran and its allies hard enough to deter them from future attacks, but not hit them so hard that it starts another war? Follow to stay in the loop.
Phil DeFranco. Now, that's exactly what we are happening here. I mean, that's pretty much a rundown of what's going on. Witchy, welcome in. That's pretty much a rundown of what's going on here. They're discussing the options right now. We are, of course, waiting to watch that. Advisors have been told to delicately get ready to do something. Taiwanese military plane. Not every day you see a Taiwanese military plane up. They're up all the time, but you don't really see it on the radar. That's something. Nah, I don't know what it is, but you know, we'll keep an eye on it. Let's go on Flight Trader. I'm gonna go on Flight Trader, see if I can find something here, see if there's any interesting planes up. You know, what you want to keep an eye on is definitely plane activity around the world here. See if there's any action. There's some things going on here in Florida. We got a lot of straddle tankers. Tankers, you want to keep an eye on these tankers here, and all of these are in the U.S. They're probably in some kind of production with some kind of plane. Oh, look at that. Yeah, that's what you want to keep an eye on, guys. This is what you want to keep an eye on. This is a tanker. This is a Boeing. This is a mid-air refueling system. This is a straddle tanker. They can refuel planes in the air, flying over Iraq as we speak. No idea what's behind it. No idea what's in front of it. That's something you want to keep an eye on. Oh, and there we go as well. A Russian plane, of course, took off from Liberia. Of course they did. Of course they did. Saudi Arabian Air Force, that's not so significant, but that's significant. That's what you want to keep an eye on. That right there. That's not all we see every single day. Here, we don't have that up here, but we do have an interesting plane up. We have an Australian AVAC plane flying just outside Ukraine. That's interesting. Don't know why it's there, but it's there. Is that a Russian plane? Yeah. Got some planes in Japan. So many planes in Japan. Oh, we got tankers in Japan. Look at that, guys. We got 3 tankers up right now just outside the coast of Japan. I wonder what that's for. Probably some kind of exercise. I don't know if they have an exercise going. We got a U.S. transport planes doing rounds out here. That's also interesting. Something's definitely going on. Probably exercise. Could be surveillance. North Korea is going off with its cruise missiles in the air and everything. So things are certainly serious right now, but you want to keep an eye on all these things right now. U.S. Can you hear me, Cactus? Are you able to hear me now? U.S. EB4, which that's the Doomsday plane. 2E6, yeah. Also E3 TF is up, ADSB, and the plane is in Poland. Yeah. Yeah, that's an Australian plane, by the way, which is interesting. We got a C5s. You know, one thing you want to watch out, guys, if these guys, which is the biggest U.S. military planes, start moving towards the Middle East, because if they start moving towards the Middle East or something, they're moving. Then they start moving stuff. And don't get it wrong, they have a lot of things in the Middle East. You know, they have a lot of military equipment in the Middle East. Oh, good. Oh, you hear me now. All right, fair enough. Yeah. So this is quite interesting here, guys. We got a Boeing RC-145 up as well here. Very lot of stuff here. I mean, this is the stuff you want to keep an eye on, definitely. We got a P-8 in Hawaii. Look at that. We got a P-8 in Hawaii. I haven't seen that before. P-8 are sub hunters. That's interesting. Keep an eye on everything here. Of course we do. If you missed anything, you might want to go back and stream a bit. But, of course, you haven't missed the good parts yet. That's coming. The commander-in-chief... Oh, yeah, that's true. And the commander-in-chief of the Ukrainian armed forces, who got dismissed from his post today, but it was obviously fake information. Okay. So there were some rumors or some people saying that he was dismissed from his post, but yeah, this was fake information. Probably some kind of Russian propaganda. People start saying stuff, people start believing stuff, and then they start sharing stuff, and it's like, it's fake, all this stuff. Half the time it's fake, but it was fake this time as well, so don't worry. He's still part of it. Hamas says it wants complete and comprehensive ceasefire in Gaza. You know what the funny thing about Hamas is? That they act like they still have some power to be able to say, I want something. Like, Hamas is a beat force. We all know they are. I mean, they're beat to the ground, right? And they act like they still have power to say, oh, I want something. You know? It's kind of like a child going, I want to do this, and you have no authority over me. You know, it's like, yes, I do. I'm your parent. And, you know, I'm not saying Israel is their parent, but I am in this situation saying they are the bigger one. Which, you know, we all know. And that's not being pro or anything. That's just pure fact. You know.
Most of your constituents want beside you. Stop the genocide. Stop the Holocaust. Democrats want.
Stop the genocide. Stop the Holocaust. Well, that's just false. That's Nancy Pelosi. Apparently, Nancy Pelosi is being harassed by a bunch of people that are pro-Palestinian. Now, Nancy Pelosi, she's 90 or something like that, right? I don't know. Probably something like 90 fucking years old or something like that. I don't know. She's quite old. If you're just joining us here, I have no further information for you at this point in time. If you missed anything, please go back. I have just uploaded a video from Phil DeFranco, or you can go on TikTok and watch Phil DeFranco's latest video to catch up on what's going on. I'll go back in the stream a bit. I'm going to keep you updated here as we get things through here. But, by the way, for anyone who missed, 47 members have been injured now. There's still 4 people dead, right? 4 people dead, but it's 47 service members. So 47 have been bruised. Now, those vary from sort of head injuries, cuts, and burns and bruises. You know, some are worse than others. The head injuries are obviously the ones that are the worst. Those are the ones getting shipped out, or whatever you could say, probably. Or getting taken care of. 1,070 troops were killed today. This is in Ukraine, by the way. 10 tanks, 25 APVs, 16 artillery systems, 46 vehicles and fuel tanks. That's a lot. And 1 cruise missile, and 8 shaded drones or UAVs, and 7 special equipment. It's a good day for Ukraine. I believe in February we're gonna hit 400,000 soldiers. By the way, in February we're gonna hit 400,000 soldiers killed, and that's a pure fact for you right there. I'm just waiting for it. This plane, by the way, is the #1 track plane in the world, and I don't wonder why. I can tell you why it's the most tracked plane in the world, because this plane right here is in the Middle East. It's a U.S. military tanker. They are mid-air refueling systems, and it's traveling in the Middle East right now, in Iraq. We don't know what's flying with it, but it could be some kind of bomber. I'm not aware if it is, but they rarely travel alone in areas like this. So it is very assuring that there could be something there. This could be the start of it. This could be the end of it. Not the end of it. Sorry, that's not what I'm going to say. There's obviously going to have to be a start before an end, right? And we know that there could be an end, start coming our way very soon here. So, you know. I bought deal vacuum except for... Oh, and by the way, another thing happening in the Middle East, the Israelis are actually going at it still. Israeli troops to go into action soon at Lebanon border, minister says. Now, I am actually telling you this because I told you this yesterday. We've been talking about this for a while. Israel's actually getting ready to go to war against Lebanon. Apparently, some leaks have been made out that Israel could be very ready to conduct military actions into Lebanon to try and push back the Hezbollah forces. And that's as far as we know right now. I can't tell you, and this is confirmed by many sources. So, yeah. Not funny stuff there. At this point, I think Israel is just done with all the people shooting at them, or, you know. Okay. Lawsuit filed over everyday racial profiling by Japanese police. Well, that's interesting. Oh, look at this. And I've been telling you this for a while. Iran is afraid of their own people. Everybody knows this. Iran is afraid of their own people. Nobody likes each other in the Middle East, okay? I've been saying that for a while. Everybody knows that. Iran is afraid of their own people. And this is a truth here, because this right here is workers of the Iran National Steel Group is in Arash, or whatever it is, continue to strike for another consecutive day. They're chanting, our enemy is right here. It is a lie to say that it's America. Now, these people know. Now, chanting out the fact that they might not like America, but what they understand is that the factions that what their government is doing is probing their children and themselves to be endangered. That's what they understand. And look what they're doing. They're not wearing terrorist masks. They're just chanting, protesting in a peaceful manner. This is peaceful, okay? This right here, taking notice, okay? For everyone who protests, this is protesting, okay? This is peaceful, and this is how you protest. You don't protest by throwing Molotovs and snapping people, okay? This is protesting. Throwing Molotovs is that, and doing all that stuff. That's not protesting. That's you know, sabotage. You know. You know, this is proper. This is proper, and that's what I like to see. Why can't every protest be like that? Because then you can actually have a conversation with them. They throw Molotovs at you. It's hard to have a conversation with someone when you're on fire. You know. Because all you'll be able to hear is just people screaming. No, that's dark. I'm sorry about that. No, but it's true. I mean, everybody says that, right? I'm tired of it. I'm tired of all the mad protesting. I don't care for the fact that some people protest for rights or stuff like that. But what I'm tired of is the factor of them, how they protest. I'm tired of the continuous, like, they're throwing Molotovs, they're throwing, you know, they're hurting people, they're putting people in danger. That's not protesting, you know. So yeah, I'm tired of it. I really am. You know, we're living in a very dangerous world. I haven't heard much from Texas regarding the situation at the border. As far as I understand, some deals have been made, but apparently they're still being made. Things are still going on there, but I haven't heard much else since then. Oil rich on fresh Middle East fears. Equivalence advance. I mean, if the U.S. goes head on trying to start a war with Iran, which they're not doing, by the way. We're not saying that the U.S. is going to war with Iran, but we are saying that there could be some kind of occurrence. I want to point something out here. If you've seen this video here of a man trying to attack Jewish citizens this was recorded in England. I can't show you the video here, but this man right here holding a knife, he attacked Jewish people and innocent people. He has been arrested he was pinned down, ironically enough, by a bunch of Jewish security guard. I believe it was a security guard, and he was arrested by British police. So the man with the knife attack in London today has been arrested, and he's now, I believe, in custody. So just want to report that for you. Well, that was reported some time ago here. So, yeah. These people are just getting danger and dangers. Here he is. That is the man right there. That's the man that had a knife. Here's a British police officer. He's being put inside the car here. And yes, he was a photo of the terrorist. Well, I don't know if he's a terrorist, but he certainly... Well, I mean... He terrorizes people. So is he a terrorist? I don't know. Who attacked a group of Jews with a knife in front of the kosher market in Golden Greens, London. He was wrestled to the ground by local Jewish security teams. That's what before being arrested by British police officers. So there you have it. Funnily enough, I just saw it here. So he has been arrested and very likely put into custody, waiting trial. Obviously, I don't think I'm gonna follow up on it anymore. If you've heard about it, I just want to give you a positive ending on that one. He's been arrested, and put in jail. Not aware if there's anybody who's been hurt. I'm not aware if there's anybody who's been stabbed. I'm not aware if he's killed anybody. It doesn't appear that he did. I haven't watched the full video of his attack. I'm not going to, because I don't care that much. But yeah. Yeah. South Korea will help Ukraine restore water management infrastructure damaged by full-scale war. This is reported by the Ministry of Environmental Protection and Natural Resources of Ukraine. The Kasarovitchka Dam will be a pilot project. It was damaged in the first days of the full-scale invasion and had defensive significance for defense of the Kyiv city. Yeah. South Korea on the move again. Goddamn. North Korea's Kim oversees test of cruise missile launch from submarine. North Korea has currently been testing so much. And I was like, yeah. Okay. Communication with SLIM was successfully established last night. Operations resumed. Science observations were immediately started with the MBC and were obtained. First light for the 10th observation. This figure shows the toy poodle observed in the multi-band observation. Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of pictures where scientists look... This is the kind of picture scientists look at and go, wow! Whoa, buddy. That's pretty insane right there. And they understand what's going on in it, and I just never understood it. I mean, thank God to the people who understand what's going on here. They're just the real genius of our worlds, right? But I think it's a blank screen of something, but... Some people look at it and they cite evidence of some kind of, crazy stuff, which is like, they're so smart. But, I mean, they lost communication, so it didn't quite land right on the moon. They launched a probe, and it didn't quite land right on the moon, and they thought it was lost, but they recently just got communication back. So now they're actually just getting ready to go ahead. Go ahead and tell everybody that you have now communicated back. NATO chief support for Ukraine, not charity. Stoltenberg is visiting Washington, D.C. to persuade a U.S. legislator to approve $61 billion aid package for Ukraine that has been stalled by congressional Republicans since 2023, and that's true. A meeting with Minister of Foreign Affairs Hungary began in... by the way, some good news from Hungary. Apparently, Hungary is now not opposed to using EU funds. I don't know if they've changed their minds or they've come up with some kind of compromise, but again, I say this with utmost certainty here. When people are realizing that they've lost, like Hungary realizes that Russia is not going to be, well, they might lose in the big end, but they might win or not. But seriously, no. I mean, they've lost so much. I mean, they've pretty much lost, you know. And if the EU managed to pull itself together and actually managed to fight off the Russians, well, then if Hungary were a pro-Russian and it realizes that, no, now it's time to switch sides. That's what Slovakia is doing. That's what they're doing. So, you know, great time, great time. Inspectors for U.S. came to other countries to check the aid provided to Ukraine. Okay. Okay. Is that like something needed? I don't know. I'm just in like a... Yeah, if you're wondering if anything is happening right now, I'm just waiting for any kind of news to come in. We're not receiving anything else right now. We're just waiting to hear if anything has happened. I'm just waiting to if the White House is going live with anything, which it's not doing. So, yeah. So not right now. Not right now. I don't have anything more for you. We'll just keep an eye on it until I can get you some more.
We've been very clear in warning that anyone...
Here's Secretary Blinken. Okay, so this is his statement. This is his statement. Look at this. Let's watch this.
From the outset, we've been very clear in warning that anyone looking to take advantage of conflict in the Middle East and try to expand it, don't do it. We've taken steps to defend ourselves and to defend our partners, as well as to prevent escalation. And the President's been crystal clear. We will respond decisively to any aggression.
There you have it.
And we will hold responsible the people who attacked our troops.
There you have it.
We'll do so at a time and a place of our choosing. From the outset.
That's good. And that's cool. That's great. The bird is coming. Oh, buddy. You messed up, didn't you? The bird is coming. That hawk, an eagle never chooses. It decides. You say to me, I'm ready to eat. I don't eat till this guy tells me when to eat. That's what we gotta do, you know? There nobody tells the hawk when to eat. It eats when it's ready. That's what we're waiting for. The U.S. is coming, baby. There ain't nothing you can do. Oh, buddy. You fucked up, Iran. You really fucked up. You really fucked up, Iran. I'm gonna tell you this. You really fucked up. People cheering right now. You haven't seen any of what the U.S. can do. You have no fucking idea how much of military equipment. The bird. Yeah. Eagle. You got no fucking idea what the U.S. can do. You haven't seen a fraction of the military equipment they have in the Middle East. You've seen them blow off a few bombs. Okay? You've seen them blow off a few bombs. You haven't seen a fraction of what the U.S. military has in store in the Middle East alone. Okay? You think you've seen something? You have no idea. Honey, you have no idea about the real world. You have no idea just how fucking massive the U.S. military is. You think you got some idea, but you don't. There's a lot more to come. A lot more missiles. And there's an endless fucking amount of missiles. You know, I don't mean to criticize. Residents take cover in the middle of a highway doing rocket sirens in Tel Aviv. I don't mean to criticize. You know? I understand that they have to take cover. But I'm just going to be completely honest with you. I think you have more cover in your car than you'd have right there. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. The whole point of having cover is so your head is covered. Not so your side. Like, what the fuck? I mean, I think you had more, seriously, I think you had more cover in your car. I don't mean to criticize or anything like that. But, you know. You see the guys driving past in the car? You see the guys sitting in the cars? Yeah, because they realize that they have more cover in the fucking car than they have down here. I said they're not firing bullets at you, they're firing rockets at you. What happens if they land if it lands right here? What, are you still gonna be in cover? Yeah, I mean, I hate to criticize, but that's just not gonna work there. There you have it. Yeah. I'm just waiting for any news coming out here. If anybody's coming out with any news here, sooner or later here, you might get something. Off to bed? Alright. Have a good night, Cactus. Okay. So far today, there's been 2 rocket attacks by Iranian-backed forces against the U.S. positions in eastern Syria. So they just keep attacking. That was 8 hours ago. Now the funny thing is, you know, we're like, oh yeah, okay, so listen, we're actually going for the attack here. We're probably gonna attack you very soon, and then they're like, oh yeah, sure, like we're just gonna go ahead and attack you once more. So we've been warned. Oh yeah, but we're gonna continue to attack. You know, it's like, yeah. Listen, I can't tell you when the attack is coming. You can keep asking me if you wanna, but no, I don't know when they're coming, when it's gonna come. Platforming Russians to explain Ukraine to the world is extremely imperialistic and cruel. Well, that's true. Air self-defense plans over Japan. Is something happening there? Air self-defense plans? A lot of military activity? Yeah, there's a lot of planes up right now. The funny thing is we got loads of Kawasaki C2s right now, which is something. There's also some military action. There were a lot of tankers. There's a lot of tankers in this area here as well. Now, tankers are the mid-air fueling systems, and there's also, you know, these guys right here heading back to Japan. I mean, I don't know, but yeah, something could be happening. Listen, I don't know, but I'm quite aware that, you know, Johnny Walker, you're alive. Well, have you been close to dying, or is that? I'm not getting anything in terms of no, I'm not getting anything right now in terms of anything. I'm trying to see if there's any news from North Korea, but no, I'm not getting anything over. It's probably just some kind of exercise, I'd imagine. Listen, it's probably just some kind of exercise. I mean, Japan and the U.S. has constant exercises pretty much every single day. It's pretty common to see exercises in that area there. So, yeah, not too unheard of. So yeah, yeah. Is there an issue with China complaining about? Well. No, it's the other way around. It's well, usually China complains about Japanese, but usually everyone else complains about the Chinese, because the Chinese they have like their exclusive economic zones to like out here, right? And they can't go here, but they'll fish here, they'll fish right here. They'll fish right here, even though it's inside the economic zones of other countries. And then if anybody else tries to come and fish in the area where the Chinese are, they will bring warships. Well, not directly warships, but they do have guns on it, and they will literally push and ram the boats. So China doesn't really have any disputed waters. It just acts like everything right here and all the way up till here. Or sorry, up till here is Chinese water. Like everything up until like this area here, like such a big area here, everything here is Chinese. That's what the Chinese will do. Like that's the Chinese are just straight up bullies. I mean they've been like that since the fucking day of dawn, haven't they? That's just what they do. That's just what they do. Do it. China decides to deploy a large numbers of warship around Taiwan. Is it this? Is it this you're talking about? Now, I talked about this earlier here. Of course, China is going to start taking advantage of what's going on here in the Middle East, and so will North Korea, 100%. If the U.S. ends up in a massive war in the Middle East, which it might. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and listen, guys. I'm not going to sit here and say that the U.S. is heading to war, but it seems very unlikely that the U.S. will do a minimum launch against. If it's against Iran, I don't know if they're going to attack Iran. They have said that there will be options to attack Iran, but they're not saying that they're doing anything or something like that. So that's what I want to point out here. Yeah. Look at that. Fatika's News just pointing something out here. Once President Biden gives the go-ahead for the response, the retaliation will likely begin in the next couple of days and come in waves against range of targets, U.S. officials says. Among the options of the table for the Pentagon, striking Iranian personnel, so not, like anybody, but they're actually talking about striking Iranian personnel in Syria or Iraq, or Iranian naval assets. There you go. Naval assets, so they're fucking boats, There's no doubt they're going to take advantage of that situation, John. The Persian Gulf, according to the officials, the Iranian government, for its part, has suggested that a strike on Iran itself will be a red line. Oh, look at that. Oh, another person talking about red lines. You think it's going to be one of those Putin-led? The only thing is, I don't know if the red line they're talking about is going to be one of those Putin red lines, like one of those, like, oh, don't do that, and then we proceed to do it, and they do nothing about it, one of the Putin red lines, or is it going to be the Iranian red line, which is going to be I will respond. So that's interesting to see if that's going to happen there. The official suggested that once the president gave the go-ahead, and the retaliation would likely begin the next couple of days and come in waves against the range of targets. So we're not talking about tonight. We're not talking about a possible attack tonight. I mean, some people are speculating it's going to happen tonight. Once he gives the go-ahead, it will likely happen in the next following days, because they have to get everything into range. They have to get things ready. Make sure Iran doesn't know how they're gonna strike, or keep it kind of. I don't know if it's keep it secret, but yeah. But that's what we're looking at here. So not too gray, is it? I mean, yeah. So we're probably going to be expecting. I mean, as soon as he gives the go-ahead, which, by the way, it's funny for him to say as soon as he gives the go-ahead, because I'm not sure if we would know, if we would actually know when he gives the go-ahead. Like, I'm not, I don't think we would know before the first strikes have happened. So yeah, it's very likely going to be like what happened after 9/11. It's very likely going to be some kind of like now that war has come, let's be ready, stuff like that. He's going to talk to us, or the people of America, to after the attacks occurred, probably after, but yeah, it's highly unlikely we're going to do it before, but I don't know. I mean, they're talking about it being on Iranian soil, but I don't know if it's going to be Iranian soil. I think what they're saying is it's going to be Iranian assets, which is Iranian-backed troops in Iran, in Iraq and Syria, and Iranian naval vessels, not the escalatory thing would be to fire directly into Iran. But, you know, if the U.S. is tired and the U.S. says, listen, we're going to show you that we can win, because, by the way, they can. That could be what they're trying to do. So, yeah.
здоров'я.
All right, guys, let's watch some Zelensky here in the background. Well, not background here, but we'll just watch 3 minutes and 43 seconds of Zelensky here. Just he's gonna give you a little bit of update here, and then I'll keep looking in the background, and yeah.
Бажаю здоров'я, шановні українці і українки. Підсумки цього дня. Перше, вранішній селектор були, як зазвичай, доповіді з усіх напрямків державної роботи, військові щодо ситуації на фронті, щодо кожного напрямку інтенсивних боїв, розвідка, поточні питання, окрема увага, звичайно, тому, що робить ворог, як тисне на своїх сателітів. Я вдячний усім нашим фахівцям, які здобувають для України актуальну, спеціальну інформацію. Окрема розмова щодо дронів, питання виробництва, питання постачання, забезпеченості підрозділів. Зрозуміло, що це одне з головних завдань року – випереджати ворога у якості роботи з дронами. Чим успішніше українські дрони від FPV до...
I just want to say real quick, right? This right there. These don't exist anymore, by the way, because those are in Afghanistan. So I'm pretty sure the ones from Afghanistan don't exist anymore, because we're not in Afghanistan anymore. The U.S. is not in Afghanistan, but these down here probably still exists. I'm not aware about these guys up here. All of these still exists. So this is all U.S. bases that very likely still exist. These probably don't. No U.S. personnel in Afghanistan. And these guys around here. So, you know, this is Elon Musk, by the way. Iran wants war. Look how close they put their country to our military bases. So that's funny, right? Well, that's the U.S. capabilities very close to Iran. And people sometimes question, you know, exactly why the U.S. will be able to strike back against the Iranians. This is why. I mean, look at the amount of equipment they could place here. Yeah.
Стратегічних, тим більше життів наших воїнів ми збережемо. Друге, провів нараду з прем'єр-міністром Денисом Шмигалем, по суті, стратегічну нараду щодо усього першого півріччя у роботі з нашими сусідами в Євросоюзі. Проговорили заплановані деталі міжурядової співпраці із Польщею, Словаччиною, Чехією, Румунією та Болгарією. Домовленості, які вже є, домовленості, яких маємо досягнути. Дуже змістовно. Лідерство у політиці сусідства – це те, що додає лідерства всій державній політиці. Я вдячний кожному з наших сусідів, кожній країні і кожному лідеру, які готові до цілком прагматичних та взаємовигідних відносин та підтримують реалізацію наших домовленостей. Продуктивність із кожним сусідом в Євросоюзі потрібна. Сьогодні, до речі, пройшли перемовини із міністром закордонних справ Угорщини на рівні керівника Офісу Андрія Єрмака та міністра закордонних справ України Дмитра Кулеби. Я вважаю, правильні перемовини, взаєморозуміння і продуктивність у відносинах – це наш пріоритет. І також проговорили з главою уряду України заплановану роботу із донорами, зустріч відповідної координаційної платформи донорів тут, у Києві. а також заплановані конференції з реконструкції України, які відбудуться у лютому в Японії та у червні у Німеччині. На все півріччя українська позиція буде представлена достойно. І третє, за сьогодні говорив з прем'єр-міністром Греції, подякував за те, що Греція з нами, зі справедливістю та з міжнародним правом. У захисті від російської агресії принциповим є голос кожної нації, яка цінує мир і безпеку, так само, як і ми. Обговорили з паном прем'єр-міністром подальшу співпрацю України та Греції, двосторонню, а також і на рівні всієї Європи, в інституціях Євросоюзу, а також в Балканському регіоні. Готуємо новий саміт Україна-Балкани, а також запросив Грецію приєднатися до організації глобального саміту миру. Я дякую всім у світі, хто допомагає. Дякую всім, хто працює заради України, заради наших воїнів, щоб у наших сил оборони та безпеки України можливостей діяти ставало тільки більше. Слава Україні!
Slava Ukraina there. Thank you, Zelensky. So here we have it. This is the confirmation. This is as far as we're going to get today, probably. This is here we have it. U.S. officials have told Political, this is what we read just a second ago here, that President Biden gives the go-ahead, that once President Biden gives the go-ahead, likely tonight, this is from Moines Defender, but we don't know if it's going to be tonight, can't tell you. Any retaliatory actions against Iranian-backed groups and or Iran, which should begin within the next few days. Consisting of several waves and strikes, attacks, a range of targets that could include Iranian and Iranian-backed forces in Iraq and Syria, as well as Iranian naval assets in the Persian Gulf. So there you have it, guys. So there's a source, yeah. There you have it, guys. This is what's happening here. This is the latest that we have got so far. So yeah. You doing it now? I mean, they're saying it's going to happen, that he's going to give the go-ahead tonight. I mean, I can't tell you. But I can tell you it's very likely that the go-ahead for this attack could happen sooner or later. It could happen quite soon, you know. So, yeah. Yeah. I don't have anything more for you now. All we really have to do, all we can do now is wait for U.S. President Biden to give the go-ahead for these attacks, and then we'll have to wait probably a few days time for any attacks to occur. This go-ahead that he's going to give could happen tonight, it could happen tomorrow, it could happen next week, it could happen next month. You don't know. It's probably not going to happen next month. It very likely could happen this week, but I couldn't tell you. So that's what we know so far. If you missed some stuff, go back and stream, or follow my Twitter. We can get you can get all the news there. As soon as things goes live, of course, we're gonna get back to you. yeah, that's as far as I got right now. Alright, guys, that's pretty much it. I don't have anything more for you as of right now. I don't have anything more for you, so thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for being here. This was just a short little update here for you. Again, if you want to hear anything, you're missing anything, of course, if anything happens, we'll go back live, or if anything, we'll see you tomorrow. So thank you so much for being here. Go follow Twitter for constant updates, and it's in the description, by the way, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for stopping watching or whatever the hell you do. Thank you. All right.